Hello, welcome back to my corridors. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my corridors. So today I'm not wearing a band shirt. I'm not wearing my metal attire like a band shirt or my Mjolnir necklace. Today I'm dressed like more gothic. I'm wearing my choker. I'm wearing my rose earrings and my lace. And my fishnet sleeves. So it's gonna be like a little weird for me to show. Oh, and I am drinking, so you'll periodically see me drinking this. This is a Java Monster. This is the oat milk kind. I think it came out last year. I don't know if it's available in every country, but this is not sponsored. Just saying. I just really like it. Just wanted to share. So you'll periodically see me drinking this during the video. Oh, so today I'm going to be sharing something, more of a personal story. That carried on with me for a really, really long time. And I'm just, it still kind of messes with me, but not as much anymore. I've gotten older and it's not really affecting me anymore. So today I'm going to be sharing the time I was ashamed to tell people I like metal and ashamed to talk about my music taste. And I just clarify, I don't just listen to metal. And I will mention some non-metal bands because I grew up listening to a lot of different stuff. So just a disclaimer. So yes, I was ashamed to like metal. I was ashamed to like the music that I listen to today. And this has been something that had been a part of me ever since I was little. I mean, it carried on into my high school years, and it was really, really a crappy period of time that I wasted. So I'll get to the story. So my mom raised me on a lot of good music. She raised me on Metallica, Megadeth, Static X, Tool, a lot of good stuff. And I also grew up listening to a lot of grunge and alternative stuff Foo Fighters, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Incubus. It's a lot of good stuff. And in my teenage years, my preteen years, I started to get into bands like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Dio, the stuff I am into today. But of course, my music taste has expanded. So, and in my teen years, I got into alternate, post-punk bands, alternative, dark wave goth music, Bauhaus, Cease and the Banshees, Joy Division, The Cure, Sisters of Mercy. It's a long list of bands. But, so I listened to when I was younger, I listened to a lot of classic rock music, like Aerosmith, the Beatles, Van Halen, David Bowie, just, all the good stuff. Stuff that you wouldn't expect a kid to listen to. So, yeah, I grew up on that music, and I was probably the only kid in my class that listened to a lot of all this stuff. Everybody else around me listened to boy bands, or they listened to Justin Bieber, or pop music or hip hop music. So when people would ask me, hey, what music do you listen to, I wouldn't tell them, or I'd say, oh, I listen to rock music. And I was a very shy, timid kid. So hold on, I need a drink. This is so good, I'm not gonna lie. I need to get my coffee fixed because the coffee I have at my house tastes like ass. So, yeah. I was a shy kid, and it wasn't easy for me to talk about the things I like. And this wasn't the only thing that I was ashamed to like. I was ashamed to talk about the cartoons I liked, the movies I liked. But that's off topic. So, I was really, really ashamed. I felt ashamed to like it because I noticed that everybody else liked the same stuff except me. And I know it's kind of dumb to worry about that, but when you're really, really young and everybody else likes the same stuff except you, you feel like a square egg. You feel like a square wheel. You feel like you're a freak. And I was considered a freak when I was little. I mean, not just because of all that, but I was always the weird kid for some reason. So, middle school came around, and I was starting to feel, a little bit more confident, because, all the adults, liked that stuff. like classic music and like all of the good bands that I mentioned earlier. But I was really, I was still a shy kid, so it was really hard to open up. So, and I was always the quiet kid, so it was really difficult to open up because everybody else listened to country music and, pop music. Because I lived in the South and there were too many, like, country fans. Like, not dissing on country music. I don't like it, it's not my favorite, but everybody else liked it. So, and it kind of just, it was really hard to open up because, again, I had that feeling of being a square egg. And it just wasn't easy for me to fit in. But I had like a good friend that, a good friend that liked all sorts of music and I could open up about the stuff I liked. And some of the adults, like when I was 12 or 13, I did meet a couple teachers that I could talk about alternative music. At my private school, after school care, there was one teacher that we talked about like music with. Like I liked Green Day, kind of a guilty pleasure, and I talked to him about it, and I talked to him about all the good stuff that I listened to when I was younger. It was a cool time. That's just one of my favorite memories from, like, I had that, like, one friend that I felt really comfortable around, one teacher I felt really comfortable around, and, I'd be sitting at the computer with my headphones listening to Blue Oyster Cult or listening to Judas Priest, minding my own business, and that gave me a little bit of boost to confidence, so, but it was only, like, a small amount. So, let me think. So 13, 14 years, I still listen to classic rock. And then 15, I started to listen to bands like Accept and, more bands that I've gotten into today, like old school metal bands, and I started getting into symphonic metal. I felt a little bit more confident talking about it, but, because, like, I did make like I said in, like, the Slayer video, I did make a few friends that listened to metalcore and deathcore and stuff like that, so I felt a little bit more confident, and I felt less ashamed of it, but senior year rolled around and I had just left an abusive relationship with my ex who hated people who listen to metal and criticized the clothes they wear and said that they just go home and think about their life. So that really brought me down and made me feel even more ashamed about it. So I would be wearing my Iron Maiden or my Nightwish shirt and I'd be like trying to hide it under my jacket or something, or like turn around and hide it because I felt so ashamed. And it was really awful that I was on cloud nine for a minute and then I went down all the way. So it was just really difficult to talk about the things that I listened to. Yes, I was ashamed to listen to metal for a long time. It carried on. It was like going up and down, up and down. It was a pattern. It was just a pattern of feeling confident, feeling ashamed, feeling confident, feeling ashamed. So it's just a crazy story to tell, but as I, senior year, when I cut ties with people I don't want anything to do with, I felt comfortable in my journey. I was in journalism in senior year, and I felt comfortable in the environment because everybody praised me and told me I was beautiful and thought I was a cool person, and I could, like, I was introduced, and, I started to feel more confident educating people about some of my favorite bands. I really love Death. It's no secret. Everybody knows I love the band Death and Chuck Schuldiner. So I educated some of my friends about Death, and Chuck, so I felt a little bit more confident. Oh, ignore anything in the background. My older brother's watching TV, so just ignore that. So it just gave me a boost of confidence and I felt better. And once I got into my college years, that's when it all changed and I didn't feel ashamed anymore. I have Aaron, I'm filming. Can you go away? Sorry about that. Please ignore my younger brother's bothering me. I'm sorry. I'm telling you my house is not quiet. I'm sorry. So ignore anything that just happened. So I just lost my train of thought. But college years, I was, people started to see me as a cool person, and I met more people that were familiar with like bands like Cannibal Corpse and Typo Negative, and it just and I met a couple other people that like grunge music and alternative music and Bauhaus and who are like familiar, and I felt more confident to educate people about my favorite bands. Like I did a speech on Chuck Schuldiner in my college years, so it just that was the turning point. But yes, there was a long, long time where I felt really, really ashamed to like the music that I do. But it still like gets to me. Sometimes I'll occasionally be scared to like for people to see my band shirts, but that's just anxiety. So yeah, that's my story. If I forget anything, I'll say something. But if you guys have any stories of being ashamed to like the music you listen to, please comment down below. I'd love to hear your story. Don't forget to, because I can empathize with you guys on that, definitely. And it doesn't just have to be metal music. It can be any type of music that you could be ashamed to have listened to. So, and I want to say, if you've ever been ashamed of liking the music you do, I'm sorry. I know how that feels, because it happened to me for a really, really long time. But trust me, you are gonna find people who will listen to you and won't judge you, or you'll find people who you have that in common with. So just don't feel bad about it. So yeah, that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, whatever, and I will see you later, and stay metal.